Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fratello Talks, the weekly short-form podcast where we skip the intro, jump right into it. I'm your host, Nacho, and this week I'm joined by my colleagues,
RJ
and
Lex.
And we are here to wrap up 2023. This is the 2023 wrap-up episode.
Was long
done
enough.
with the year.
Bow on it. Around.
Was
Is
a
it
whole
on it? Bow on it or around it?
We'll put a ribbon on it.
Oh, that's also
a ribbon.
Okay,
put a
not a
ribbon.
bow.
You could put a bow. What's the difference between a bow or a ribbon?
I have
let's not start this way. Let's not start this way. What's on your wrist, Lex?
Oh, it's a Timor Heritage Field ATP. It's a 36.5 millimeter reinterpretation of an old field watch, and it's on a bund.
Is that an eat, sleep, play bund?
It is. Wow. It is. Yes, it is. An
Very
eat,
nice.
sleep, play bund.
Lovely.
And this is when I put this on my wrist, it immediately produces a smile. I really, really enjoy this one.
You do keep coming back to it.
It's just nice. Sorry.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
RJ, what is on your wrist?
I am wearing perhaps a bit more boring Rolex Datejust 1601, so in steel with the white gold bezel, and it's from 1969 or 1970.
That's
nice.
hardly boring now, is it?
On the Jubilee?
But that's
Yeah, it's an easy watch. It fits whatever, it goes with
but
everything.
it's very refined, I think.
I like it without the fluted bezel. I think it looks a bit... Oh, no, it does have a fluted bezel.
gold,
It's the
white
light.
gold fluted bezel. Yeah,
my
it's the
God.
light.
Because when it's fluted, it's
I
always
also
a
have
precious metal.
the smooth bezel
Oh, okay.
and the engine turn
Okay.
bezel, and sometimes I switch them. You just put a knife on it,
A little butter
take
knife.
it off, and then you...
How do you like the engine turn bezel?
Not so much.
That's a harsh look, isn't it?
Yeah. And I have the smooth bezel as well, but then I don't like it with the Jubilee. It needs to be an oyster.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
agree.
true.
Yeah.
So I always wear it
More
on
of
this fluted bezel.
It looks great. Looks great. Perfect. Yeah, and I'm wearing the 2254. I'm being very
As you
boring,
do.
but it is my most worn watch of the year, and the Omega Seamaster 2254, and it's perpetually on my wrist.
Oh, well.
I think it's I'm going to try and mix it up next year, but for now I'm still happy to call
Next
this
year,
my,
next year is sooner already.
Yeah,
So.
I'm going to only wear Breitling next year.
Yeah, that's what
You're
I was
a
going to
Breitling
say.
collector
You
now.
are a Breitling collector now.
I have two. So stay tuned for the first
That
episode
makes you a
of next year.
hardcore Breitling collector.
We've actually recorded the first episode of next year already, so this is very anachronistic. But anyway, we should get into the topic because otherwise people tell us off.
Yeah.
And we listen to them. We listen to the people. And we'll get around to some of their comments,
Yes.
some of their lovely comments towards the end of the show. But let's kick it off with some highlights for this year. What have been some of your highlights, horological or otherwise, for 2023? RJ?
Horological, I think I would say that I've added the Breguet to my collection. I really enjoy that watch. I didn't think I would wear it that much, but I am wearing it quite much. I just returned from service. Really a job well done by Breguet, and it's a lovely watch to wear. So that for me was a highlight. I think highlights in terms of releases, I found it a bit of a slow year, I have to say.
Okay.
I'm a Speedmaster collector, and I didn't buy a Speedmaster for the last 2 years because Omega doesn't do limited editions anymore, and there's not much additional being added there that I can afford because they have done some crazy stuff.
True, the spy rate and the
The Spider is one thing,
the
but I
repeater.
try to keep it a bit Moonwatch focused.
Yeah.
And of course they have the gold watches, but there's only so many gold watches one can afford, I guess. But I think for next year
the
it will
black and yellow gold was
Yes.
The Panda.
But
that's-
but I
that's
think it is.
beautiful.
But I
Was
don't
it
think it's
the
from
year before?
20
No,
from
no.
22. Yeah.
Yeah,
so I think next year will be big because we already saw and we covered it on Fratello the wide dial Speedmaster Moonwatch on the wrist of Daniel Gregg.
Oh yeah. True.
And that will probably come early 2024. And I want it. So that looks good. So, but as for highlights, I really like was a bit of a surprise, the Chopard LUC 1860.
Okay.
That we had in the office, and we saw it at Watches and Wonders, and there I thought, oh, that's a nice watch, and didn't think of it that much again. Then we received it in the office, and it was very difficult to take off my wrist again.
Let me jump onto the Chopard
Yeah,
bandwagon
sure, of
here
course,
with
yeah.
the Alpine Eagle. What was it called? Is it the
XPS?
XPS,
The
the
thin
40,
one.
the 41 millimeter. I think it's approximately the same price as your the watch you're talking about. It's a 20 something.
The Chopard is 25 in euros and 23 point something in US dollars.
And I think the Alpine Eagle with the micro rotor movement is approximately the same price. So if you had to choose between the two, which one would you take?
I would take the LUC 1860.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I would definitely really lovely dress watch.
Yeah, it is a lovely dress watch,
and it uses the loosened steel. I prefer to have it in white gold. The original was also in white gold with the salmon dial in 1997. But for me, it's the steel that is a bit mean for that price tag. But aside from the price, I think it's really a beautiful watch. Yeah. And in the end, that's what counts.
Okay. Sure. No, true. Sure.
And for the rest, it was, like I said, a bit of a boring year. Still, my highlight, I would say, but the GMT Master in gold is something I can hardly get out of my head as well. I was in Dubai Watch Week a few weeks ago, and one of our readers and friends of the show was wearing it, and man, it's super, super nice. It's really a nice watch.
Awesome.
Yeah. Very, very for us, to be honest, it felt a little bit slow this year. Yeah.
No, agreed.
True. And for you,
yeah, no, I was actually. I think I put the. I put the Chopard Alpine Eagle in the thin one with the salmon dial. Put it in my list of best watches of this year. That was actually a watch I was completely surprised by. That it was. I saw it during Watches and Wonders and completely overwhelmed me because it's just. It's thin. It's well made. It's quite original. It has the nice movement. It has the right slimness. It really ticks all the boxes. If you look at a luxury sports watch with the integrated bracelet, and then we had it in the office after that, and it was just. Now that is a watch. It was very hard to take off my wrist. Really, really, really nice. It was a bit of a slow year. That I agree. There were some.
There were nice releases overall.
There were some nice
glass box and Tudor did some nice stuff. Rolex,
absolutely.
The Summer Blue collection. I like the new Ploprof, but I think in general there was no real peaks. I would say there's nothing really bad, but also nothing really good.
Nothing completely spectacular.
Yeah. There were some. There were definitely some anniversaries worth highlighting throughout the year.
But there's actually one highlight I need to mention because that happened quite recently, and it was not with a watch of 2023, but it was the Rolex Deep Sea Challenge.
Oh yeah.
I think that is one of those crazy watches you don't get to see that often, and then one of the friends of the show brought it in, and I got to wear it a little bit. It actually hurt. It after wearing it for half an hour, it started to hurt on the wrist, but it was such a nice watch experience.
Okay.
And then
it's unwearable. I also had it on my wrist.
It's unwearable. It's unwearable.
In pictures, it looked all right.
Yeah,
somehow.
Yeah, it does. But I think the pictures.
It looks great in pictures.
Morgan took some pictures, but also I took some pictures with iPhone. I think it's a wide angle lens.
Yeah, so it makes it look.
Then it looks a bit not normal, but
no, it looks wearable in pictures.
But it's not wearable.
It's absolutely unwearable.
I think it makes a normal deep sea, which is 44 millimeters, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of okay.
44 is still
true. No, but it is also nice that you get to try out a watch like that, and
for sure. And already discontinued, right?
I think so. I think it is discontinued already. Yeah,
short-lived.
Yeah,
very short-lived, but
but it also and then it is also nice to write because in the end it's also nice when you see a watch or that inspires you to write something that you actually.
Absolutely.
What quickly faded away was for me talking about Rolex was the Jigsaw puzzle date and the balloon
bubbles.
Watch, the bubbles.
Yeah, especially the Jigsaw.
There was a thingy that lived up for a few days, weeks perhaps.
People are still apparently those are still rather in demand, but it does feel like you don't really see them.
About
it's not a lot of discussion, but you hear that they're in demand. But I don't know. Yeah, it was a short-lived thing.
But one of the highlights for me this year was our Speedy Tuesday event in Japan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
that was amazing
for sure. Yeah, that was really cool to see.
That is
it was I think the only Speedy Tuesday event this year. Last year we had a couple more, but this year was just this one. But it was great to see everybody come together and obviously
and people came from everywhere.
People came from everywhere.
It's amazing,
and it was just nice to see different faces as well. I was only at one last year, which was in ESA here around the corner from us, and it was cool to see some familiar faces there as well. But then this time it was great to meet all kinds of people brought together by the Speedmaster and by Speedy Tuesday. Yeah, it was very cool. Very, very cool. For sure. Like I said before, we had some anniversaries. So we had 50 fathoms, Blancpain, 70th.
It was uncelebrated.
It was they released some watches throughout the year. It was
of course.
Yes. Next.
Do you throw one big party or do you throw a bunch of small dinners? That's the thing.
They did this humongous party, of course.
Okay.
And at in the island of the coast of what is it? Cannes. That where they kept the man in the iron mask. That's where they had the party. So it was a very nice historical place. It was interesting. That watch is a little bit polarizing. I know RJ doesn't like it.
Yeah, I like it if it would be in steel.
Yeah, but then you don't like it if because it's in bronze gold.
Yeah, but for me that doesn't make any sense.
I have to say that I do like the look of it. I like the long lugs. I like the Omega already used type of gold. I do like the look of it.
Yeah. But for your 17th anniversary and you come with this.
They came with 3 things.
Yes.
Yeah. Also,
one of them is my
cool.
is my highlight, which is the Tech Gombessa. Not to derail too much from the
dive watch.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I put that in my innovations list. Highlight innovations. The Tech Gombessa. It's nice to have a dive watch that's designed for people who are doing rebreather diving. Of course, you can dive for several hours at a time, and then a watch that only elapses the time for 1 hour. It's maybe not super useful. And then this is obviously a very, very niche product, but very
that's
cool.
Why it's so cool.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah. Instead of it being a like this luxury for the sake of luxury type item, it's actually a functional watch designed with people who are out there doing things in mind. Which for me is I've discovered that's truly where the appeal lies for things like this. So I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah. But when we talk about functionality in 50 fathoms, I have seen in real life that it is to wear a 50 fathoms with a tourbillon is actually a very functional and practical dive watch.
Okay,
I've seen that on Mr. Hayek's wrist. He took it into the water,
and it worked.
So a tourbillon is perfect for a dive
pretty
watch.
Pretty baller move.
Yeah,
fantastic. Anyway. And then another anniversary that we had. Well, Rolex had a few anniversaries this year, but they didn't really make a fuss about
Daytona.
it. Daytona? Yes, so we got one.
Yeah. One of the highlights must be then the white gold Daytona Le Mans.
Yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. But they also, the Explorer had its 70th, and the Submariner had its 70th.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that they didn't that didn't celebrate the sub at all. But the thing is that they don't care about
20 years ago with the green one, with the Kermit.
Yeah, that was.
But it was also not official.
No.
It was not official, and they just kept it in the collection. So they keep celebrating the 50th.
Maybe they'll just wait for 75. They can afford to only do the really important.
But even the Daytona, they brought a new Daytona with a see-through back, but that's basically it. I would say they just updated the whole Daytona collection. Yeah. I'm not a Daytona fan, but I have to say that the current one is not bad.
Oh, it's better.
I like the Le Mans version; is really nice.
Yeah, very cool.
They go for crazy prices, but I really like it. It's a nice watch.
Very nice.
And then we had, of course, the Carrera celebrating the 60th, the Tag Heuer Carrera. We got the glass box, like you said. There was also at the beginning of the year, we were talking about it yesterday, one that people haven't really talked about too much, but it was this really faithful reinterpretation of an old Heuer Carrera.
That's really nice.
Really, really good with a silver dial, slightly aged lume, and it was just, that's a very, very cool
I think a glass box is a good move by Tag Heuer, and we had the gold version in. Mm-hmm. That's really nice.
Yeah, the gold one is stunning.
There were some things that I think, they could have done it slightly different.
Sure.
Mainly concerning the movement. With the dial, I didn't have that many issues. No. We saw some comments about the date disc, about the third sub-dial is a bit hidden, more or less.
Right.
That is a problem I have with that Carrera. Is they developed a movement that is for 3 sub-dials.
Yeah,
and then they figured out that 2 sub-dials look more vintage, are a better look, but then they also don't want to have a ghost dial, and then they kind of.
At least. I like it. I like it.
Okay.
Another highlight in the innovations category, the AP Ultra Complication.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty. That's one where I really that and the Tech Gombessa are two, and the Rolex Deep Sea Challenge.
They showed me
those are ones I wish I had seen in the metal.
Yeah, I've seen them in the metal, the APs, and it was very impressive. The explanation was long. The time to play with the watch was short.
Right.
So, but it's a really impressive.
What
watch.
I like, it's almost old-fashioned horologerie.
Yeah.
When horologerie was still a pissing contest between top brands, and finally it's back.
Exactly.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. And that was interesting at AP because they showed it in their new production facility in Le Locle or La Chaux de Fonds.
Le Locle. No, not an. Is it in that? No, not a lot.
Where also Cartier.
Yeah, it's just that's
have to drive quite a bit
outside Le Locle.
It's somewhere. It's in between actually.
It's such a modern building. It looks like you're entering like a Google building in Silicon Valley.
Wow.
But there's all watchmakers there, and there they showed this new super complicated watch, which is a bit like you say, very old-fashioned.
Yeah.
So there was a big contrast. But man, that's nice. They can really do marvelous stuff at AP. And I would love to see them do more of these things.
How much is the influence of Renault and Papy on that thing? Is it Renault and Papy? I don't actually know. What happened to Renault and Papy? Are they still in Vallée de Joux? But he was there.
He was there. Yeah.
Okay.
He was there, definitely.
Yeah.
I've been there twice now.
Because
both
they
times
more or less integrated into AP, right?
Yeah. Very impressive building.
Yeah.
For me, the last shout out was to Girard-Perregaux because they did a couple of quite nice things. Obviously, the Neo Escapement wasn't new per se, but they released this new version of that using that same principle.
Give it another try.
It was just very impressive and actually wearable and just looked fantastic. And then they also had this 8-tech carbon chronograph, which was
that is nice.
One of the watches that I gave a little shout out to in my best of 2023, both the Fratello Talks episode that we did and my personal list of favorites. So I thought that those two
such an underrated brand. We say Blancpain and Breguet underrated, but I think Girard-Perregaux we can add it to the list as well.
Yeah,
it's really underrated. The Laureato is really nice.
It's a great watch.
A few years ago they did a really nice one. Always talking about that one with the black dial. It was beautiful. But the chronograph's also nice. And even also if you look in the back catalog from the 90s, early 2000s, you can really find some nice pieces from Girard-Perregaux.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they also had these Laureatos. Was it the Laureato Evo that mimicked a little bit like the Royal Oak concept a little bit?
Yeah.
We had those shapes, and there are some nice stuff. Actually, they don't do Seahawks anymore. No. And I don't like the last generation, but the generation before that with the Crown at 4. There's some I kind of
some proper Ferrari.
And that's also
watches.
they did some really nice Ferrari.
That aluminium cased one. That we saw at Watches.
We saw that one at Watches and Wonders. That was good.
Yeah, shout out to that guy. Yeah. I forget his name, but it was that was
unique that we cool. Encountered that watch.
Absolutely.
And in during Geneva Watch Days, they showed this white gold.
Yeah,
very thin Girard-Perregaux. It was beautiful.
Yeah, super nice. From the like a vintage one, right? From the
90s
archive
or 80s. Yeah.
I really wish them well for upcoming year because I think upcoming year is going to be tough. And I think Girard-Perregaux, since they're not part of Kering anymore, and
I think if they would really focus on collectors and enthusiasts and.
Are there still collectors and enthusiasts?
In general, a lot of watch collectors and enthusiasts. I think if you play your cards right, might be
cool.
It's going to be. Do you think it's going to be a make or break year for brands like Girard-Perregaux, but also maybe Ulysse Nardin? They're in the same building now, right?
Yeah, the manufacturers shared
office space.
I don't know how deep their pockets are.
They live in the same apartment.
And that's
they're roommates.
Yeah, I think because today it's not going well anywhere. So in the past, the brands just followed the money. If it was going well in the US, they would focus on the US market. If it would go well in Asia, they would follow the Asian market. Europe is never doing well, but it feels like it's going down everywhere, and I think that's something not new, but that's something they have to cope with. And like I said, I think I said it before in another podcast that I think brands really need to look at their loyal customers and fans. And I think brands that don't have fans are in trouble.
Yeah, you have brands who don't have fans, but they are a big enough brand to cope with that. I think like a Cartier. Okay, they do have fans, but that is a brand that can also just live
if you're,
because
if
of
you're part of a group. Let's say you're Baume & Mercier, and well, that's tough. I guess it's tough on them.
But at least they're kind of protected by the group. But you can only be protected for so long, I think, also within a group.
Yeah, but
I mean, there is shareholder pressure also.
Yes, but in the end, I don't think that the group CEO will pull the plug on one of its brands, because that's also losing your face.
Right. They would rather sell it then.
Yeah, rather sell it. I don't think they will close the door. They rather sell it.
Just to steer us back on topic a little bit. In less
this
depressing
is 2024,
news,
Lex.
2023. Yeah, before we start looking into the crystal ball, limited editions. We had a few limited editions here at Fratello.
That's
and
true.
Some we're all very happy and proud of all of them. But we started off. I don't have them in chronological order, but we did the Nevada.
Yeah, 5 different pieces.
5 different dials.
40 pieces each.
Racing chronograph, and it was a case and a design that had not been brought to market before, so that was really nice to have the exclusive there. We also had 2 Aquastars.
Yeah.
Yes, a blue one and a pink one.
Yes, exactly.
I bought the pink one.
Yeah,
myself.
the pink one.
It's
is
very
nice.
cool. Really cool. We had the Straum, which was a real fan favorite, I think,
also
as well.
ordered.
And the deliveries are happening soon.
Happening as we speak.
We've got getting the call in our earpiece this week or next week. No, we'll see. And then we also had the Fortis, of course.
Yeah.
Which
but that's not a limited edition.
Oh no, true.
The other ones are also not all watches are limited.
The Reminisce?
We decided
Nori.
We decided to have a ordering window of a week.
True.
And then people can order, and then we
more pre-order
have them made.
Model.
Yeah. So there's no number attached. I think only the Nevada Grenchen, there was a cap on 200 pieces in total.
Yeah, the Minasa was also an order window. I have to say that the Minasa is
very well.
close to my heart because of the
very nice.
The fact that I got to go to the Japan museum in Leiden. That was nice to have a little bit of a storytelling around the Nori green dial.
For sure,
nice. And it's a beautifully made watch.
It's a beautiful watch.
Yeah. Really.
The Fortis is a capsule collection, meaning that we will carry a Fortis watch in our web shop, basically, that we
it's more of an exclusive
together with them, and it's an exclusive. You can only buy it through Fratello.
Very cool.
And now we have the Flieger, but next time there might be another model.
Exactly. Stay tuned. And then we have to give a shout out to the REM straps, of course.
That's amazing. So every month this year we did a REM strap for the Speedmaster. And we had some themes going on there. But it's the Broad Arrow, the X33 was a recent one. We also did one for the Snoopy, for the moon landing, for Tintin. That was really successful. And we keep ordering straps for the back order to restock, basically.
Yeah.
And
but the plan is really to continue, right?
We will continue in 2024.
Fantastic. Very cool. And then I think that for like we said, for our best of, we can refer back to the episode that we did of Best Watches of 2023, as well as our articles. I think just about everybody in the team has put together a favorites from 2023. And then I think another highlight has just been to see Fratello Talks, the show that we're on now, grow and
we're
evolve.
Now on camera as well.
Nominated for a Grammy.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been a highlight to see the people watching and the audience really hello to really sort of to give us some good feedback, a lot of positivity week in, week out, and covering different topics. And
that's a nice bridge.
That's a good bridge.
We'll definitely and we'll definitely
comments in.
We'll definitely keep it going. We'll definitely keep it going next year, of course. But we wanted to give a shout out to some people who left some particularly nice comments. So we start off with Anthony Stevens 8683, who said, "Once again, another top drawer discussion. Great humor, and as always, an interesting perspective on watches." Very nice. Thank you, Anthony. Then we had Mr. Farzami, who said, "A great discussion with a distinctive European flair."
Oh,
yeah.
I think he's referring to you, Lex. And we also had Sager van Asch van Wijk, 7749, who said, "Sunday morning with a nice ristretto, listening again. Great talk, Fratello."
Nice.
So that's nice. It's been great to see people's feedback, and we do our best to also listen to feedback and cut a bit of the chit chat at the top of the show, even though it's quite a challenge for us. But I think that there's some people out there who appreciate it, and I think we will definitely do our best next year to include pictures of the watches that we're talking about for those watching in video, because I saw that recurring comment.
It's a recurring comment, and it started out as a podcast, so you don't have to show. You can't show pictures on the podcast,
for sure.
And now we decided to do it on video as well.
Yeah,
which is fun, but we still don't show pictures, and
we can also make a drawing of the picture and then just
for sure.
If you do that, that's perfect.
We'll have Fabrizio Bonamassa off to the side, and he will be sketching the watches.
That is a perfect idea.
Yeah.
It'll be fantastic.
I'll ask him.
He'll be doing.
Bulgari had a great year, actually. I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
they continue to have a.
We were having that discussion. So just as a final point before we wrap up, which brand won 2023 for you?
Oh,
Lex, you go first.
I would say Breitling.
Okay.
I think what they're doing is strong, is recognizable. It seems to be very much in touch with what people want. So yes, I would go for Breitling.
Fair enough. For you, RJ?
I have to say that I agree. I'm not a Breitling collector like you. I do have a Breitling in my collection, and it's also not that I like all Breitlings out there, but I think they did an amazing job by having that much exposure, by the beautiful boutiques that they opened.
They're very dynamic.
They're very dynamic and very open, it seems. Georges Kern is very approachable, I think, on social media. And then the latest news is that they bought Universal Genève.
Yeah, very cool.
And that's also something that shows they're really into watches.
Absolutely.
So let's see what comes out of that.
Yeah, for sure. I think Breitling did a great job. I think Tudor had an interesting year. They continue to do very well. It was very Pelagos FXD heavy as a year, but I thought that they did fairly well as well. So worth a little shout out. And then finally, one personal highlight from your 2023. Again, putting you guys on the spot.
Yeah, that is
we didn't talk about this. Maybe something, an article you wrote that you were especially proud of, or something you achieved.
I'm always most proud of my latest article.
Your latest article. It's Carlef Bucher, right, for you?
It's actually,
that was a good one. We got another one coming. Well, last Friday. If you're
I was actually really happy with the Rolex Whale, the watch you wear where the sun don't shine.
Cool.
Because it goes so deep. That's what I meant. Yeah, nice. I really enjoyed writing that. But,
very nice. And for you, RJ, a personal highlight?
Yeah, I don't write as much as I did in the past, but I still enjoy writing. I don't have an article top of head that I think, that was a nice one. But I am really proud of the team. I think the team we established this year is it all falls into in place. I would say I'm very happy with the team and how it works and how much we grew in 2023. And business-wise, but also I think in team spirit, and looking forward to next year.
Fantastic, very nice.
And yours?
For me, it's the same. It's just seeing how things progress, and also to have seen. I've become sort of the host of Fratello Talks, so it's also been nice to fall into that role a little bit and do that. And for me, one personal highlight was to go diving with watches again.
That was super cool.
It was nice to get in the water again. So that was a good one. So well, thank you everybody for listening. And it's weird to say this, but make sure to like, subscribe, and tune in next year for another episode of Fratello Talks. Next week, but next year. Tune in then.
Oh.